Hello and welcome back to Off-Quay, the official Salford Pride podcast. Back with me, my name is Graham and I'm the design and marketing manager here at Salford Pride. This time I'm joined by lots of guests, which is a lot better for me. So first of all, I'm joined by Ricki, who is our secretary and an administration officer. I'm also joined by Emma, who is our partnerships and business manager. And we're also joined by Connor, our new entertainment and events officer. So welcome to you all.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
It's so good to have fellow committee members here in the room with me. So first of all, how was your Christmas?
It was really nice, thank you.
Amazing. I loved it. I got to chill out and spend loads of time with my guinea pigs.
You do love your guinea pigs.
Absolutely obsessed.
Must admit, your Instagram stories are always awesome.
And they're incredible allies as well, I won't lie. I'm a few phone calls away from entering them into the doggy drag show at the Pink Pit this year.
The doggy drag show?
Yeah.
They're
What,
really
they're
big guinea pigs.
Well, technically,
Really
see when
Really
people
big.
when people really get to know them, the usual comments are, "Wow, they're like small dogs."
Oh, okay.
So, yeah,
it's all about
I'm-
diversity.
That is
absolutely.
very true. Absolutely.
Diversity, inclusivity,
Absolutely.
I think so. That's what we're doing this
I
year.
think it will give our good friend Jacqueline's dog for the money, to be fair.
I don't know if they can compete. I don't know now.
But they are cute.
Yeah, they are adorable.
Jacqueline's one of the volunteers, and she has the cutest dog ever.
Yeah.
She dresses it up with like sunglasses every year.
Tutu, rainbow
Oh,
coloured
totally.
All
clothing.
the events, the dog's there in a little pram,
Yeah,
all glammed
Oh,
up,
yeah.
sassy as ever.
Made the MEN news at
really?
Manchester Pride. Oh my God, I was like, oh my God, it's Jacqueline!
Yeah.
Then I saw
you
the
can-
dog.
You can spot Jacqueline a mile off. I've got a picture of her dog on my phone.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, we've got loads on, obviously. If you want to see all the photos from last year's picnic, they're all on our Facebook page.
Yeah,
it
in
will be
fact-
our website very soon, yes.
That should be a game, a competition. If you can spot Jacqueline,
Yeah.
let us know.
Out of 5,500 people, good luck. Genuinely one of the buckets. So obviously Christmas was quite a while ago, but obviously we had a very busy end of year. So obviously, Connor, we had an event in November. We had our first ever winter event, Pinked. How did that go?
It was a great night. So I spent the night with Venus, our drag queen, who was hosting the night, and she came. It was a very cold night, if you remember.
I do remember.
She came, so she's one of our drag queens, of course, in a duvet that she took. She came in a duvet, like, what a great idea was. So we was patrolling the streets, collecting money and donations for Salford Pride, whilst the Neon Party was all going on at Cruise. We got a great turnout as well.
Absolutely, it was brilliant. I mean, at the end of the night, it's just like, where did all these people come from? It was, because we were very nervous. In fact, we've never done something in the winter season before.
Something different.
It was very new. We'd never really done a club night in the village before, so it was great to have, to get on board with Cruise. And it started off slow, and obviously, I think there was a very nervous event manager, and they're going, where are the people? But then suddenly they appeared.
And then it was rammed, and everyone was getting in the neon spirit, with like
Definitely.
neon glasses as well, with the, I don't know what you call them,
The glow sticks.
the glows. Yeah, of course.
Because you weren't around then.
I was going to say, as soon as the glow sticks out, certain members of the Pride Committee were a bit like, oh, these bring back memories.
Nostalgia.
And very much nostalgia. So how much did we raise on the night, Connor? Do you know?
So we raised over £650,
That's
which
absolutely
I
amazing.
was so proud of. So it's exciting what we can do with that and see what that money can go
And that
towards.
purely was as people being generous across the village in Cruise that night.
Was having a
Yeah.
great neon-filled night as well.
Fantastic, absolutely.
Yeah. So a lot of that was down to the volunteers who helped out the day, and Venus going around the village into every single bar and
Fantastic.
Dragging
just
people along to Cruise.
dragging the people along, but also like spreading the good, like spreading the word about what we're doing, and we all had a great night and celebrated with
Fantastic.
tequilas by the end of it.
There was. I just remember towards the end of the night, it was like, can we go home yet? Can we go home yet? And we ended up in another bar once Cruise had closed. I don't know why. I think it was more case of, you're sober, let's go party. I'm like,
Greatest version of the end of the night.
It was
8
well.
PM.
It was well deserved, though, wasn't it?
so isn't. Everyone knows where I go until to the end of the night.
Again, another competition. If you spot Graham,
Don't talk to me.
It's like where's Wally, isn't it?
Oh, whoa. I could probably hide in the village somewhere. Yes, I could. All the little nuts and crannies. So obviously, Connor, you were a member of the Pride Committee. Obviously, you were looking after all our social media until quite recently. So what are you doing for us now?
Yeah, so changing up a bit, going to the entertainments team. So I'm studying events management. So it's just a matter of exploring different areas and seeing how I can develop myself into an event manager whilst also supporting the LGBT people of Salford and the events that are going on around there. So.
Absolutely, and I think that's what's really key is that being part of Salford Pride is not just about running these events. It's actually about giving something back to the community and to yourselves. It's developing your own skills and stuff. Or even in my own way, obviously in terms of marketing design, obviously all the marketing bit I can do asleep. But obviously I've grown in terms of doing Illustrator, Photoshop. I'm even starting to play with Premiere Pro now, and I'm like, what on earth is happening to me? Get me away from these computers. But yeah, it's about giving back and taking something forward, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. I first got involved with Salford Pride so I went to the Pink Picnic, and it was such an amazing event. And then I never thought I would be able to get as involved, of course, in it as I have been. And now we're doing like Pinked and all these events. Yeah. It's just it's crazy that such a community is putting on. It's for the community by the community.
Yeah. And, I will say again, and I'll say it on every single podcast, we are all volunteers. We do this out the goodness of our hearts. And at the time, we start organising the Pink Picnic September the year before. So we've been doing this now for a few months already.
And we've all got our full-time jobs.
Full-time jobs.
Full-time education and all that kind of stuff. But, we do it because we love what we're doing, and we're thinking... I think we contribute quite a bit to Salford in terms of the LGBT community.
Absolutely. So in terms of, obviously we've had a couple of events come up over the past couple of weeks. Obviously we had the Love and Pride event, which I produced my first show, which was, my first production show, theatre show, which I thought I'll talk to about in a little bit. But obviously we had the fundraiser as well. So obviously that's our second time of doing that. So do you think it was a kind of a good turnout?
Yeah, of course it was. Like I said, everyone's always down every time. And just there to have a good time.
Absolutely.
Whilst raising money as well. So.
I know we must do a big shout out to all the companies that donated prizes for the quiz night. It was a great laugh.
And
obviously.
it is appreciated as well, isn't it?
Definitely. We're still counting the money at the moment, so we'll let people know exactly what we raised. Thanks, Connor. So obviously lots and lots to look forward to over the next few months.
Yes,
and obviously the Pink Picnic will be Saturday the 20th of June. Now, talking of the picnic, we had the live launch last Thursday, and I'm sure everyone saw that on Facebook Live, which was amazing. If people haven't seen the video, what's happening?
Firstly, rude. Secondly, I'm so excited. I love the Pink Picnic. Like Connor, I got involved with Salford Pride after attending a couple of picnics. Really loved it. This year is a big one. So excited. Are we allowed to talk about headliners?
Of course.
Can we tell headliners?
Well, we've told everyone else, so if people haven't seen it, now we can tell them again.
Again, rude. So our headliners this year, we have Booty Love and Big Brothers.
Oh, that's really good.
They are amazing. I've seen them
before. So incredible. I'm super excited for that. We have Sean Miley Moore.
Oh, so that X Factor started.
Yeah, obviously had his big debut on X Factor, and he's an incredible performer. We've had him before, haven't we?
No, we haven't, but I think obviously other prides have had him and things like that. Stuff.
Okay, yeah, I've seen him live. I've definitely seen him live, and he's incredible. Great showman. And
drum roll. RuPaul's Drag Race winner. Well, I can't even say it.
The first ever RuPaul's Drag Race.
So you can say it for me.
That's the one. So I've been working with her this week in a DragCon, and she's
fantastic.
So lovely. Yeah, she was on the booth right next to us. So yeah, very excited to have her down.
She's just she's so witty and she's so funny.
She's hilarious.
She appeals to all audiences, I think.
Absolutely.
My mum's never watched RuPaul's Drag Race until this year when I forced her to sit on the couch and watch it with me, and she absolutely adores the Vivian. So I know already her and my whole family are coming to the picnic just for her.
That's fantastic. I mean, I think this year we're going to pull in some crowds. The fact that we've got the first winner coming to Salford says volumes. And, I follow them on Twitter now, and obviously Instagram their videos are absolutely hilarious. It's really good.
Yeah, they're so funny. And she's a local lass as well, kind of. Like, obviously, she's from Liverpool.
Just over the Mersey.
She's a Northerner.
Yeah, just over the river, just down the river. So, I'm super excited for that. We've got all sorts of other things going on as well. All the activities, which you'll have seen on the video. The Doggy Drag Show, which of course my guinea pigs will be attending.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the real highlight.
Inclusivity, diversity, and all of that.
Definitely.
The VIP tent, which I had a ball in last year. I'm so excited for that.
I think the VIP tent's a little bit different this year, isn't it? So obviously make sure you do check out what's different for that space this year.
Yeah, we're trying to do things differently, switch it up. Different things every year, trying to level things up, see what fits best. But everybody always has a great time. And you know what? One of my favourite parts of the event is getting to know all the stalls, all the businesses, and some of them bigger, like last year we had the likes of Booper, and some of them smaller independents as well. And I've actually made some probably lifelong friends from speaking to people at those stores. There's a real community feel. I'm just so excited. I want it to be now.
Absolutely. I mean, no, because we've got loads to do.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I just hope the weather's as great as last year.
Absolutely.
Touch wood. I think we've only had, well, as far as I'm aware, we've only had like 1 year that was bad. I think
the past 2 years has been so hot.
Yeah.
So bring your sun cream.
Absolutely. I mean,
hopefully you'll need to bring it. Yeah,
including fellow committee members, because we were burning. I think a little bit. So.
Yes, I had a burnt head thanks to my dad patting on his receding hairline.
Oh no!
I had a horrendously burnt forehead.
Oh no! So obviously we've got the headliners, so we know who they are. Obviously, other acts will follow the next few months. So obviously, if you are listening to us, obviously you want to perform on the main stage, do get in touch via our very shiny new website, which we'll talk about in a minute with Ricki. So that's salfordpride.org.uk. So Emma, thank you so much. Obviously,
you're welcome.
What do you do on the committee? Obviously, let's find out what you do.
Well, I'm glad you asked. So I basically deal with all of our external partners.
Okay.
I'm responsible for sponsorship. So in the past, well, this year actually, I can talk about some of our sponsors this year.
Yeah.
We have the likes of Talk, Kellogg's, a couple of other local businesses.
Fantastic.
It's really, really exciting, and it is great to be able to reach out to these businesses, and in some cases, they reach out to us and say that they want to get involved because they're really passionate about extending that olive branch and raising awareness and education, being inclusive within their own organisations about the LGBTQI plus community.
Yeah.
It's great to engage with those kind of businesses.
And that's what I love about the fact in Salford, people come to us, we're not out there going, please support us. They want to give back to Salford and they want to give back to the LGBT plus community, which is, I think, is in its own right rewarding. And, you know, we've had some conversations about they're not just trying to look for a tick box exercise. They're engaging. Definitely. They're there. They kind of want to do. They want to just do more than give
it's
money,
about support. It's not just monetary support. Like the only reason that we seek monetary support is to make our event bigger and better, to keep it free.
Yeah.
Like the things that we can provide and the fact that the event is free, I'm super proud of.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as far as I'm aware, we're going to try and keep it that way. And really, that's the only thing that we need the monetary support for. But every partner and sponsor that we've had have supported us in so many other ways as well.
Absolutely.
So I love that part of my role, and obviously
without you, we wouldn't be able to do what we do in our roles.
Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, I can talk, so that definitely helps. Charm people into giving us their money.
But what I mean is that obviously we can't deliver a picnic if we haven't got those sponsors.
No,
obviously we need to start charging people, and I think, you know, I can speak on behalf of the whole committee. We have that ethos of like we will always be free. You know, we've seen other prides put in even just nominal ticket prices on just to kind of they need that money to pay for things, but we will always try our utmost to obviously kind of keep it for free. And obviously in Salford, I personally don't think people could necessarily, if we start charging, people might necessarily stop coming because they might be able to afford it and stuff.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
No one should have to pay to be proud.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
That's a key point of that.
Definitely, I couldn't agree with you more.
I'm going to get that on a badge.
You have to pay to be proud.
It's a good slogan.
Yeah,
it
is.
slogan.
Emma, thank you so much for telling us about that. Obviously,
thank you.
Chip in with the rest of when you say, you know, that's what
please, don't open that floodgate.
We can edit. It's fine. Obviously, and I'm also joined by Ricki. Obviously, so. You know, as I said earlier on, LGBT History Month, we've been celebrating that all month through our events and through our social media campaigns. Obviously, it's kept Connor and I a little bit busy because I didn't want to let him go too soon in terms of, no, I have 3 social media accounts to monitor. So, you know, we hope people have enjoyed engaging with those conversations. But, you know, why do we celebrate it in February? And obviously, what's the theme? What's been going on this year?
Well, we celebrate it in February annually in the UK. I don't know why. Like February. I don't think there's a particular.
Maybe there's nothing else going on.
There's no particular attachment in February, but I think we just chose February as a month. You know.
Because people often get confused with Pride Month in June, don't they? Which is international, isn't it? Yeah.
And when that's around the world, but different countries celebrate LGBT history at different times of the year. We celebrate it in February every year. Like I said, this year the theme is poetry, prose, and plays. And like you heard on the podcast. in a little while, we're going to be featuring our play, which was earlier on in the month, and then we've got that spoken word poem.
Yes, so obviously we were joined by Anthony not so long ago, and obviously he read out 2 beautiful poems, and the kind of the acting that goes into it when you start in a room, it's amazing, isn't it? And it's just words, and obviously the words do have lots and lots of meaning, and that's where I think that they've chosen it. What's extra special this year in terms of LGBT History Month?
Well, I think it's 2020, and I think quite significantly this year, poetry, prose, and plays. Just a year ago, the reason LGBT History Month, the organisation, chose poetry, prose, and plays was because an author, a writer, and an LGBT activist for the community, Lyra McKee, was sadly killed last year on the 18th of April in the Northern Ireland riots. Which
I remember the story.
Tragic.
It was awful.
Yeah.
And because she was so active in encouraging LGBT people in media, in the arts, it was decided that it would be dedicated to poetry, prose, and plays in her honour.
And I think that makes complete sense, because obviously it's the family have just been the tragedy that the family had to go through. Yeah. It's you just can't put words into it sometimes.
No.
So I know you've done a little bit of research in terms of why, what, and how. So what can you tell us about that?
So like I mentioned, she was sadly killed in April at the riots in Northern Ireland. And like I mentioned, she's an LGBT activist. She quite well known. She wrote a letter to a 14-year-old self, which is quite an emotional story to her as a 14-year-old growing up as an LGBT young person in the UK. And some of the lines I'll just read out a brief bit. She says, "Kid, it's going to be okay. I know you're not feeling that way right now. You're sitting in school. Other kids are making fun of you. You told the wrong person you had a crush. Life's hard, but it will get better. You'll be loved. You'll fall in love. You'll do normal things. Here's to better times and saying goodbye to bombs and bullets once and for all."
Wow.
Which is just beautiful.
It is.
It's beautiful. It's quite ironic, really.
Yeah. And when you consider, obviously, the riots in London, in Northern Ireland, really emotional. And I encourage you to go and read the full letter that she wrote to herself, because it is a really emotional experience.
Oh well, I think that's really important as well for the older members of the LGBTQI plus community to keep informing even young activists. There's always stories that need to be heard that haven't been heard yet.
Definitely, yeah.
They need to be told. I know there's a few books and podcasts out there that will find really useful. That's a touching letter. Yeah, definitely.
It's really emotional. And I think when you consider we've just seen the rollout of relationships and sex education in the UK, it's really prevalent talking about LGBT plus identities and celebrating, art and LGBT culture in that way. I think it's really encouraging, talking about plays, promoting LGBT people as this creator of such endeavours. I think it's beautiful, because we are people, we do live normal lives, and it's great to see that for young people.
And that's some of the messages I want to get across there. We are people at the end of the day. The fact that who we love shouldn't come into any sort of an equation. And obviously you see it on social media, you see it online and in the press, there's the derogatory, barriers, and obviously they kind of talk next door to each other, and it's just like, why? What's your issue? And obviously there's loads of things at the moment in terms of the church have said things as well in terms of what they supposedly believe Christianity believes. And I'm just like, that's not how I see religion or Christianity and stuff.
Yeah, that's absolutely not. I've got quite a few close friends. One of them is avid when it comes to his religion. He's incredibly religious, and this year he wants to plant his own church. And we've had so many conversations because I'm curious about religion and the role that it plays in our culture today, with the ever expanding awareness and acceptance of people in the LGBTQI plus community.
Absolutely.
And he's reassured me time and time again. He's tried to explain where some of these derogatory comments and beliefs come from, and he said to me, that is not the Christianity that I know. That is not going to be part of the church that I plant.
Absolutely. And I think we have the Methodist Church join us at the picnic every year, so it just goes to show.
Ricki actually went down.
Yes, you did.
Right.
You did.
I attended an LGBT mass which was ran by the Salford Diocese, which was a really nice and open, welcoming event. There was, I think about 30, 40 young LGBT people that I met
Fantastic.
and engaged with there, and they're really open and looking to come and support us at the picnic again and celebrate LGBT plus people in faith, of all faiths, because like you say, religion doesn't have to be that place. It's a warm and welcoming place.
I don't want to open the conversation tonight about intersectionality, but obviously in a future podcast, I think it's really important that we talk about intersectionality. We touched on it briefly back in October with Black History Month, where the fact that a member of our committee is very out and proud as a black man and also as a gay man.
Yeah.
So it's a case of that they are parts of my identity, and obviously intersectionality it's. We all have everyone thinks we have one label, and actually we don't have one label, we have many labels, and the fact we have to call them labels is just the worst thing ever. But, we're being gay isn't just part of me.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's part of me, but it's not just the only part of me.
Yeah, I think
exactly.
if you didn't have that label, people wouldn't treat you any differently. It's very rare that you can just tell.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
Labels have the benefits, I guess, about self-identity and finding yourself who you are. I think that's why a lot of gay people look for that label. As a whole, it's quite a negative thing, but it's
only negative about, on the receivers though, not for.
Yeah.
I see where you come in, like.
But it's that journey of like discovering who you are and figuring out where you fit in, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's like the play we did a couple of weeks ago. It kind of touched on that, the fact that there was hidden forms of homophobia, biphobia, transphobia, just in everyday life. People don't even realise, and it's this case of, it's not because people just don't realise what they're saying. Well, they do, but it's a case of, it's just the way its language has changed and developed over the millennia, really, isn't it?
I recently wrote a blog post on LinkedIn that got so much attention, most of it positive, that I really wasn't expecting, about the kind of dialogue that I've had, particularly with men. In professional workplaces, with prospective clients, at network meetings, because I run my own business, and some of the comments that I've got back from people, I just literally, like, my mouth goes in on itself. I don't know what to say.
I don't get it. We've seen some stuff. We obviously me and Connor, we see all the posts, our replies on our social media accounts.
Oh yeah,
and we do have to hide some. And some fun ones. It's just like, why are you following us if you're going to then put comments like that? You strange person, go away. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, don't.
That's very strange to seek out something you actively avoid.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, we've had giggles about it over the phone and kind of go, have you seen this one? Like, yeah, that's it, hide that one. They haven't won because we've hid it, so no one else will see it. It's absolutely brilliant.
It's crazy how people go out of the way to put negativity out there as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But we're here to combat that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, obviously, I put a post out this morning in terms of that was the cutest little cub. Obviously, his mum was behind him in terms of the fact that the cub was obviously in the front. Obviously, I'm assuming they don't know what gender they were, but the cub was in front of the cub, and basically they were looking really smart, kind of like, I'm going to take on the world. And then their mum was kind of crouched behind them with the kind of angry face going, touch my cub and I'm going to get you. And I think that's really prevalent at the moment, the fact that, we have the entire LGBT community and our allies behind us going, you be who you want to be, I'll get these ones behind you. So, I had to share it. I can't remember what time it was. It was early. It was really, really nice. Ricki, thank you so much for doing all of that work. We're going to listen to Anthony now reading one of the poems. So we just got to transfer over to... Transfer? We're not going to transfer. We're going to listen to that. I've been at work all day. We're going to have a little listen to that now.
Dear Gay Bashers by Jill McDonough. The night we got bashed, we told Rusty how they drove up and yelled queer, threw a hot dog and spat off. Is that gay bashing, or are they just calling you queer? Good point. Josie pitied the fools. Who buys a perfectly good pack of wieners and drives around San Francisco chucking them at gays? Beads off, missing the point, the pleasure of the bash. Dear bashers, you should have seen the hot dog that hit my neck. The scarf Josie sewed from antique kimonos. So gay. You missed laughing at us. Us confused. You raw hot dog on the ground. Josie and Rusty and Bob, they make fun of the gay bashers. And I wash my scarf in the sink. I use Woolite. We worry about insurance, interest rates, not hot dogs thrown from the F-150s, homophobic freaks. After the bashing, we use the ATM, in the sex shop, next to any social club. smiled at the kind owner. His handlebar moustache. Astrid Gilberto sang tall and tan, and young and lovely from the girl from Ipanema. And the dildos gleamed from the walls. 100 cheerful colours in San Francisco. It rains hot dogs. Pity the fool, arse-sized penguins, cock after cock in azure acrylic, butterscotch glass, anyone's flesh tone, chrome.
Thank you so much, Anthony. That was really, really nice. Thank you so much for coming in. Anthony, obviously, is a student here at the University of Salford. Obviously, we're always recording the podcast at the Media City campus. So, again, a big shout out and thanks to the university. Earlier this week, I caught up with Fahminda, our hospitality officer, who talked about the event we held on World AIDS Day at Bar Pop. So, Fahminda, thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
So, obviously, we had an event a few weeks ago now, well before Christmas, seems such like a long time ago, and we launched our official partnership with Youth Stop AIDS Manchester. So tell us a little bit about what happened at that event.
Oh, it was an excellent event. So, for marking World AIDS Day, we were at Bar Pop, and we had a space reserved for the event, and there were many people came and showed their support. We had some acts on as well, some singing, some music, meeting other people. It was a great event, and it was about raising awareness as well for World AIDS Day. And later on in the evening, we then went to a vigil to mark World AIDS Day as well. And it was a solemn occasion, but it was really, really important that we do remember days like that. And it was nice to be part of that as well.
Fantastic. So obviously you mentioned that we had a couple of acts there. So tell us a little bit more. So who did we have?
We had Venus there, and Venus was amazing. She did a brilliant musical number, great voice, and she looked gorgeous as well. I really enjoyed her.
She always pulls it out the bag for us, doesn't she?
She does. She's brilliant, no doubt about it.
Fantastic. I mean, when that recording came out the box, I was like, what on earth is going to happen here? But it was really, really good.
Yeah.
And obviously, we're joined by Thunder Pussy as well. So we had a special guest, and Thunder Pussy seems to share. I feel I'm retiring, and then she'll pop up every now and again. So let's see what happens. So obviously, tell us about the vigil that happens every year in the village. So what was it like being there? Obviously.
It was lovely because there were quite a lot of people there as well, marking the occasion. And I think it's lovely when you do events at clubs and bars and there's music, but it's also remembering people have actually died, people have lost their lives, friends, family members, and it's still an issue now. There's a lot more awareness around it, but I think something like the vigil, it just makes you realise this is real and people are aware of it, and we need to continue with the vigil so we don't forget, because there are people in the world who are still losing their lives to it, and they shouldn't have to.
I mean, it has got a lot better, hasn't it, Ricki, in terms of protection, and obviously if people are diagnosed with HIV, there is obviously lots of meds out there to support them. Obviously people are, I wouldn't say necessarily being cured of it. I mean, obviously there has been some news recently in terms of that the cure is there, but in terms of if you do contract it, it's not the end, as obviously that's what it was like in the 80s, wasn't it, in terms of your life was over, but it really isn't. So Ricki, you were there as well. How did you feel the event went?
Yeah, I think, like Fahminda said, it was really solemn. I think one of the standout moments for me was standing by the vigil, and the light procession that came along Canal Street was a really beautiful moment. Just taking a pause and reflecting back and thinking about all those people, like Fahminda said, that sadly have lost their lives to HIV and AIDS. And then the Manchester Gay and Lesbian Choir were there, really beautiful singing, and hearing people who live positively with HIV and AIDS from Greater Manchester talking about reading poems, talking about their lives. It was really special, and that was quite a significant moment.
Absolutely, and obviously we worked very closely with Lewis Wilkinson from Youth Stop AIDS Manchester, and obviously he can't be here today when we're doing this recording, but he wanted to let me know that we raised over £1,000 for that one single event. Obviously that money will be donated now to the charity, and that will support the organisation, not just here in Manchester and Salford, but obviously across the UK and the world, to keep continuing to lobby pharmaceutical companies to say, lower the price of your drugs. And obviously, we all know that the NHS still won't pay for PrEP, but obviously that's a battle that we will continue to win, obviously, and we wish all the very best to Lewis in that. Now, Fam, before I let you go, obviously you weren't just at the event, you're actually a member of the organising committee. So do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? Let's get to know who you are.
Yeah, my name's Fahminda, and I've got 2 children.
Excellent.
2 girls, teenage girls. Maybe not so excellent.
That must be a handful.
Oh, yes, it is. And I've got a lovely brown pussycat called Misty, and she's a tortoiseshell, and I live with my partner as well, and I work at the University of Salford, and that's how I got involved with the committee as well. I'm an ally of LGBTQI causes in this country and around the world. I think it's really, really important to show my support. And I think as a Muslim woman as well, I really want to be part of this. I want to be part of the change that you get in this country. But unfortunately, in certain countries abroad, especially Muslim countries, there isn't that awareness or understanding around issues that affect minority groups, especially LGBTQI. And that's why I feel it's so important for me as a Muslim woman to be part of this committee.
And obviously you can tell that in your emotion in terms of the way you're speaking, that you're a proud ally. And obviously we've obviously known each other for a very long time.
Yeah.
Obviously I've seen you at events where we're celebrating that love and pride for everyone. So in terms of what you do for the committee, what's your role and where would we see you?
I'll be part of the VIP tent for Peel Park Pink Picnic. So what I say to everyone is, please buy some tickets so we can continue to offer this event for free for everyone. And as a VIP member, you'll enjoy some extra special privileges.
Absolutely.
So please come along to all our events. But Peel Park Pink Picnic, I think that's a family event, and that's why I love that event so much, as I used to bring my daughters to the event when they were younger as well.
Absolutely. I think you're showing how long you've been coming to this event, because you've called it the Peel Park Pink Picnic, which was the very first naming of the event. And obviously, I'm sure the CEO and the rest of the executive team are going, what? What's she saying? You're fired. So obviously, yes, we will see you at the Pink Picnic later on in June, obviously in our VIP area. Obviously, the VIP, I just want to say that obviously the event is completely free.
Yes.
The VIP area obviously is our live fundraiser. So if you want a little bit extra at the event, you're more than welcome to buy a ticket and find Fam talking about her brown pussy.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Fam, for coming along, and we'll see you very soon.
Thank you. Bye.
That's kind of nearly it now for this episode. We've covered so much. Obviously, we thank everyone for listening or watching if they want to watch, because we turn it into a nice little video on YouTube because it's just easier.
How fun.
Oh no, we're not recording. Oh, Emma has just literally rolled her eyes around the room going, where are the cameras?
Where are the cameras?
We're not being live streamed.
know.
No, we're not quite at the
They
point
get
where
to
we're...
watch the logo.
Yeah, well no, we're going to put some other things in this time. I'm going to
spice it up a little.
Keep it interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to have
visuals.
Some visuals. Obviously, After Effects is a very good programme. The first two is a bit like, okay.
Other programmes are real.
Oh, of course. But not as good. No, I'm joking. No, obviously, the first one I did was okay.
Yeah, it was great.
It was okay. The second one was boom.
Oh.
Other YouTube videos were very supportive in terms of learning how to use the program. And then this time I'm gonna, I might even do it on Premiere Pro rather than After Effects.
It's a great program. I used to use that.
It's the waveform I want, which is only in After Effects, not in
I love video
Premiere Pro.
editing.
Pardon?
I love video editing.
I think you owe us a video too, there, Mr. St. James.
I don't love editing your videos. I'm joking.
I didn't.
Offended.
If you recall, I did not provide you with the video content. Okay, so that is it for this time on the Off-Quay. So thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you all very soon.